Hello and welcome to Eat and Live Free. I am Alisia Young, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a restorative yoga practice. If you're looking for more information on some key things about restorative yoga, check the link in the description below for a video that shares more of that information. This will be a short class where we'll go through a few poses. We'll be holding most of the poses for 3 minutes. The only props that you'll need is a bolster along with a wall. When doing this practice together, please make sure that you have no distractions. So put your phone on do not disturb if you can. If you're in a place with other people, please let them know to give you this time for yourself. And we will be doing this practice in silence. You may also want to dim the lights as well to rest your eyes. And with that being said, if you have an eye pillow, you can grab that. And if you have a sweater or blanket for our resting pose at the end, so our Shavasana, please grab that as well. You'll also see me switching in between the videos just because I have a timer here to make sure that we can focus on how long we're holding the poses as opposed to continuously looking at the clock. All right, so we will get started with a gentle back bend. Now, before we get into our back bend, we're going to start with a gentle warm up. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees into tabletop position, and we're just going to start with our cat-cow. So wrist beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips, deep breath in, bringing our spine up towards the ceiling, relaxing our head. And deep breath out as we arch our back into cow pose. Doing this a few more times, deep breath in and out. One more time. And out. Now from here, coming back into tabletop position, coming into our child's pose, taking our knees out towards the long edges of the mat. You can bring your feet, your heels together if you'd like, taking your hips back down towards your heels, resting our head on the mat. And slowly coming back up to our tabletop position as we come into a low lunge, taking our right foot in between that space between both of our hands, taking that left knee slightly backwards into a comfortable position and leaning slightly upwards, resting our hands on our hips and leaning forward into that front knee, just giving a nice stretch to that left thigh, reaching our arms up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in. And gentle side stretch to your right. Deep breath out and taking it to the other side. And back to center. And just taking our hips back as we extend that front leg. Coming back to tabletop. Switching legs as now we bring our left leg forward in between those hands, taking that right knee back a bit, leaning forward into our low lunge. Deep breath in and out, hands on our hips, leaning forward. And as we bring our arms up to the ceiling, taking a deep breath in and deep breath out. And leaning over to our left side and back to center, and leaning over to our right. Back to center. And now resting our tips of our fingertips on the mats as we lean our hips back and straighten out that front leg. Now coming back to tabletop as we come onto our sides and then onto our glutes, getting ready for our starfish. So we're going to line up our bolster so it relaxes against our lower back. And we're going to straddle our legs out as wide as we can and as is comfortable. And now taking a deep breath in As we relax back, deep breath out, and straddling our arms out as is comfortable. Just placing all your body weight into the ground and into the bolster. Taking nice deep breaths, feeling the bolster massaging your lower back. Taking your time to come up from your straddle pose. We're just gonna comfortably come up as we get ready for our supported child's pose. So for this pose, we're gonna come back onto our knees. You can come into a kneeling position, and we're gonna go into our child's pose. So from our tabletop position, we can grab the bolster, we can place it in between our legs and just push it through so that when we lean back to bring our hips towards our heels, then we are being supported by the bolster. So leaning your hips back towards your heels and reaching your arms forward. Here would be a great place to use a block if you'd like. I'm just going to rest on my hands. From here, easing out of our supported child's pose, we're going to come back up to a kneeling position and remove the bolster as we come back to a seated straddle. And this time, in our straddle, we're going to rest our head on the bolster. So we're going to extend the bolster upwards so it's straight. And we're going to lean our head. So we're going to have the bolster angled. We're just going to lean our head on the bolster just so that we can have that supported, seated, wide forward fold. So get comfortable and just relax into it. So as we take hold of the bolster and lift our head and raise the bolster, now we're going to get ready for legs up the wall. And this pose will be done against the wall. So you can use your bolster with it, or you can go with just your body. Legs up the wall, we're going to be relaxing our legs up against the wall. So the way that we get into the position is we're going to sit up against the wall as close as we can get. We're going to put our glutes and our hips up against the wall. And then we're going to rotate. So first lying down, and then we're going to rotate our legs in the direction of the wall and raise our legs up towards the wall. So you'll see that they're in a V shape. And from here, you can take your legs as narrow and as wide as you would like. Now, if you'd like to add the bolster, You can take hold of it and slide it directly beneath your hips. You want to get as close to the wall as you possibly can. Now, if you do find that you have high blood pressure or this pose makes you uncomfortable, please do not do it this way. Instead, you're going to lean up against the wall and do a half legs up the wall. So you'll rest your upper body on the mat in a sideways position, and you can just lift one leg up towards the wall. So getting into your preferred pose as we relax into it. So as we come out of legs up the wall pose, we're going to bring our legs to meet at center. And then we're going to gently bend our knees as we bring our legs back down to the side. And then come back up to an upright position. If you were in half legs up the wall, you just bring that leg that's on the wall, slide it to meet the other leg, and then come back to upright. So now we're going to finish our class with our resting shavasana, and we will do this with a supported corpse pose. So for our supported corpse pose, we're going to come onto our back. And you can do this pose without the bolster where you're just lying flat on your back. But if you would like to use the bolster, you can place it underneath your knees or underneath your lower legs. So as we lay back, we're going to rest down onto our backs, and we're going to focus on deep breathing allow us to solidify this practice. And if you're comfortable, you can rest your eyes. If your lights are on, you can dim them. I can't dim these ones, otherwise you won't see anything. And you can put your eye pillows on. You can put your sweater, your blankets on as we just seal our practice in this pose. Bringing our attention back into our body and back into the room. You're going to gently wiggle your fingers and toes and remove your bolster if you're using it to the side, extending your feet fully outwards, your arms up above your head, stretching fully out like you're an elastic band, and go dead weight. And gently opening your eyes, taking your time to come back up to a seated position. I want to thank you for joining me in this practice, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you feel restored, and I hope that you will continue to practice restorative yoga. Again, if you're looking for more information about restorative yoga, check out the link in the description below. We're going to close with 3 deep breaths. Deep breath in, arms up towards the ceiling. And deep breath out. 2 more times. Deep breath in and out. Last one. Deep breath in and out. Thank you again for tuning in. Subscribe if you enjoyed and leave a comment about how you're feeling. Looking forward to seeing you next time.